Joining the military was one of the scariest decisions I've ever made. But leaving was even scarier. And at the time when I left, I had absolutely no plan. But looking back now, I realized God wasn't asking me to have a plan. He was just asking me to trust him. Let's get into it because leaving the military was a big transition in my life. But before we could talk about leaving the military, we got to go back to how it started and how a little girl from Opelika, Florida ended up in America's finest Navy. I don't believe in coincidences at all. So I believe that there's always a series of events that happens and takes place to get you up to a certain point. And that's exactly what happened with me. See, I joined the military at 18 years old, fresh out of high school. So when y'all was going off to college, the military was my college, okay? And junior year, that's when the school kind of starts cracking down. Like, all right, we need a plan. We need to know. Well, everybody always wants a plan. Listen, I'm just a girl. I don't be having one all the time, okay? Schools are very much like, you ain't graduating if we don't have this plan on paper. Like, we need to know what you want to do with your life, basically. And I honestly didn't know. I knew I always had like this big personality. I was very outgoing, all the things, right? And so my dream, I need y'all to stick with me because it all, like, life has a way of coming full circle, okay? But my dream was to be this big actress in Hollywood. Like, I wanted my name in the lights. Egypt Rodriguez. I want to walk the red carpets. I want a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, okay? And so my mom had bought I believe it was a 94 Honda Accord. We had already talked about it. Like, oh, girl, this could be your car. I'm going to give this to you. And I was like, okay, when I graduate, I'm packing up my stuff like those kids or those people on the cartoon where they got that long stick and a sack on the end. That was going to be me in my mind, right? In junior year, I'm like, when I graduate high school, I am packing my stuff up. I am going straight to California and I'm going to be this big movie star. Thank God for the people he places around you, okay? Mind you, I don't think I had ever been out of the state of Florida at that point. I had never been out of the state of Florida. I had never traveled on my own, none of this stuff, right? So that would have been a lot, okay? But I had a theater teacher whom I loved, and she was like, Egypt, baby, let's be realistic here, okay? What is it you like doing if money wasn't a factor, if you didn't have to worry about bills or things, what would you want to do with your life? And I thought about it long and hard, and I'm like, I want to act. And so it was dead set. Like, that's a characteristic that I have that I'm kind of grateful about. Sometimes it's kind of like a slippery slope, but when I get something in my mind, it's like, when I am set on it, I'm going to find a way to do it, right? But as life starts progressing, things start happening at home, things start happening in my life and all these things, I'm like, okay, maybe that dream isn't realistic. God led me to the Marine Corps, right? We had some Marine recruiters come to the school. They was very like on point. The man was like, listen, I'm picking you up at 3. What time y'all get out? 2:30, I'm gonna be here, okay? You come into the office, you gonna work out with us? He was like, I'm like, yes, sir. And I signed up to join the Marine Corps. That was gonna be my initial path, but God makes no mistakes. I ended up working out with them for junior year, throughout the summer, throughout most of senior year, but then I ended up getting hurt. And when I got hurt, I was not able to pass the physical test for the Marine Corps. And because, you got to be, the Marines is some of the top flight security, But I wasn't able to pass that. And so I was just probably going to give up on my dreams and be like, all right, well, I guess I'll stay stuck in Florida. I'll stay stuck in Miami, probably go to Miami-Dade College. That's what everybody does around me. They go to Miami-Dade College, they get a degree they never use, they end up working some job. And that's how I was honestly starting to see my life going. And I hated that for me because I just felt like there was more for me. And it was the Holy Spirit. Now I know, just basically like, don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. And the recruiter was basically like, hey, try the Navy because you don't have to pass the physical fitness test before you go to boot camp. The funny thing about all of this is at the time, I thought I was making these decisions. At the time, I thought like, oh, I'm going to join the military. Oh, Marines didn't work out. I'm going to do the Navy. I'm going to do this, that, and the other. But looking back, it's like God was ordering my steps in every single moment for it to all work out this way. So I end up joining the Navy. And let me tell you something. When you have been in the military, you get to see the different branches. With me, my personality, the job I had and everything, I do not see me being in any other branch. Like, I'm a little biased, okay? But the Navy, yeah, best branch out there, okay? When you're in the Navy, you go to boot camp, they give you the option of like, hey, write down the top three duty stations that you would want to be at. Ha ha ha, jokes on me, because none of that really matters, okay? They send you where they want you, okay? But I basically wrote down Florida, California, because they had a base in California, in San Diego. I was like, that little hope ignited in me. I'm like, I could go to California. I could go to California. And then I didn't know what to put for the third one. So I put like something overseas or something. Well, when I got those orders, they sent me to Virginia. And if you know, you know, like nobody wants orders to Virginia. Like that's like a last, like if you just got to take it, you're going to take it. But nobody wants orders to Virginia. Sorry, not sorry. Everything just blows my mind now. So when I ended up going to my ship, which was an aircraft carrier, that ship was one of the ships that was doing a hull swap. A hull swap is where basically two ships change home port, and that happens like every certain amount of years, right? And so when we're on this 9-month deployment, they're basically trying to divide up the crew and see who is going to be coming back to Virginia and who's going to be switching to the new home port. Well, the new home port was in San Diego, California. And when I was hearing this, I'm just like, wow, like every time hope is just getting ignited in me, because I'm like, this was always my dream to be in California. Like, I'm just a girl from the hood. Like, I always wanted to, you know, go to California. I wanted to do like all these things, right? And I had these big city dreams, and I was like, oh, I'm going to go. So I was begging, pleading to go to California. And they're like, yeah, no, you're going back to Norfolk, Virginia. And I'm like, it just felt like every time California was in my grasp, it just felt like my dreams were being crushed. Like, I'm never going to make it there. And I started losing hope. Oh, I don't want to. I did not think I was going to get emotional. What the heck? When I tell stories, it takes me back to that mindset, and those feelings and those emotions, like, literally come back. And when I think about how everything worked out now, I might cry some more on this video for real. I'm not cutting nothing out, because this is the real, like, this is my life. This is my story. So when they're like saying, no, they already done did the crew swap, everything's finalized. Everything is finalized. There's no more switching. There's no nothing, right? So we're literally the week of, we're pulling into the Newport in San Diego. Everybody got their orders. I still never had orders. Like, they had already told me, like, you're going back to Virginia. But I never had my hard copy orders. And I'm just taking them for their word. But the whole time, I was literally, like, praying to God for a miracle. And I'm just like, I was just like, God, I know for a fact, like, you know my dreams. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know for a fact you're not putting this in my reach, almost like I'm being teased or something, you know? The day before we pulled into port, these orders came. Like, this is a real story, y'all. Like, and I'm emotional about it because everything in that moment led me to where I am today. Like, God is just that good. But the day before we pulled into port, I was already on that 9-month deployment. I had gotten into trouble. They was trying to kick me out the Navy. So much was happening, y'all. And I had went to a new division. I had a new job. I was in a new division. The day we pulled into the port, I had a BM1 from my former division that I was in former department. He was like running me down. Rodriguez, we've been looking for you. I'm like, y'all ain't been looking for me too much, because, I mean, everybody know where to find me. Like, the ship ain't but so big. Like, y'all know what division, department. Couldn't have been looking for me too much. He hands me these hard copy orders. Y'all, I kid y'all not. The orders say San Diego, California. After I had been having these orders to, like, go to Virginia and all of this stuff, like, the way it worked out with me, like, picking up a new job, apparently they was like, no, that actually will make her go to San Diego. And I knew none of this, and it switched at the very last minute. I'm talking about a day before we pulled into port. So y'all following with how, like, God had been putting the steps into place. Let's get to leaving the military. Let's get into why we really here, okay? At this point, I am on camera looking crazy, and I don't care. It just is what it is. Okay, so leaving the military. Now I'm stationed in San Diego, California, which is 2.5 hours from LA. Are y'all following? Okay, when I turned 18, I said I was gonna do what? Go to LA. Okay, went to the military. Okay, so now we're in San Diego. For me, I just always felt like I was never meant to do more than that first term. Well, I had the opportunity to get out 8 months earlier than I was supposed to get out. When you're in the military, and anybody who's ever been in, like, y'all can relate, like, you are conditioned, like, they really condition your brain. And you know, sometimes you have those chain of commands and those people, like, they try to tell you, like, you need to stay in the military. You better be in the military. You ain't gonna be nothing without us. You gonna get out. You gonna be a bum on the street. You don't see those veterans on the street. You don't see this. You don't see that. Like, the military is where you need to stay. Is where you need to be. And I'm gonna be honest. I started to believe it for a little bit, but it was something inside of me. Now I know that that was God, but it was something inside of me saying, like, people don't just get this opportunity. You know what I'm saying? They ain't just approving people to, like, get out 8 months early or whatever. And it was something inside of me where I'm just like, I want to get out. I have to get out. Like, it was the prompting of the Holy Spirit. It was the leading. And so when I'm getting out, I'm in San Diego, but I'm like, I want to go to LA. LA has always been my dream, but like, I need to figure out what I'm going to do, because you got to think about it. I joined at 18, right? Now it's like I'm 21, turning 22, whatever. And it's like, I've never lived on my own. I went straight from my mother's house to being in the military. And one thing about being in the military, you're an adult, but you're not really on your own, because at the end of the day, you have a place to stay and they're going to feed you. Those are the two main necessities. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you're still not really in the adult world. Like, you still ain't really feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders in that regard. I knew that I was not going back to Miami under any circumstance. Like, for me, you know, Miami to y'all is like South Beach and this and that and all this stuff. But to me, the Miami I grew up in was struggle, was, you know, just something completely different than what tourists and stuff know it as. So for me, like, yes, I love being from Miami and all those things, but I don't view it the same way that people do. And so for me, I knew that that was not a life I was willing to go back to. For me, I started making plans. What else can I do? What else can I do? Well, my best friend, who I met in the military, and we are still friends to this day. Love you down, girl. She was one of the people who went back to Norfolk. She was stationed out there. She had an apartment, whatever. And me and her were talking. I was like, you know what? I'll start school, because when you're in the military, some of the perks are the benefits. The GI Bill, they pay you to go to school and pay for your school. Okay, hello, no student loan debt. Okay, but so I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna just go to school. I'm gonna come stay with you. We'll end up getting an apartment together. Like, I'll bust down the rent with you when I start to get my money, whatever. We got this whole plan, like literally this whole plan, a date for me to come down, everything. And it's like 2 weeks before I'm about to, like, get out of the military. And it's just weighing heavy on me. It's like, you're not meant to go back to Norfolk, Virginia. That's why I didn't have you go there. Like, if you were meant, and I wasn't as spiritually grounded as I am now, but it's just like, if I was meant to go back to Norfolk, I would have never done the whole swap to California. And it just was on me so much, like, you were not meant to go back there. You didn't come this close. You didn't come this far. Your dream, it's like, when I tell you, I could taste LA. I could feel LA. It was so close to me. It was like right there. And everything it was in me was just like, I gotta try. Like, I have to try. I was just thinking to myself, you can't play it safe. You can't take the safe option. If I had took the safe option and didn't join the military, my life would be different. And even though I was scared, I knew that, like, I had to take a leap. Like, this was my dream city. This was the dream life that I wanted. And it felt like it was at my fingertips. And I was already more than halfway there through a chain of events that I couldn't even explain. And so I called my best friend back, and I'm like, I'm gonna let you know, but I feel like I need to try to figure out this LA thing. She was very supportive. I'm grateful to have supportive people around me. And so I'm like, what the heck am I gonna do in LA? Like, how does it work? Like, I knew nothing about going on ghost, like acting, audition, none of these, right? And so I started looking up like schools and stuff in the area. Mind you, I'm getting out the military. I have 2 weeks left before I get my discharge orders, right? I have 2 weeks left. I don't have nothing figured out. And so I found a film school out there because I started, the gears start turning, because we hear all the LA horror stories about, people going out there sleeping in their car, all of the things. I would have done it. I'm telling you, I would have done it. I was that desperate. So I literally started looking up stuff. I'm like, oh, they got a film school out there. The gears start turning. And I'm like, you know what? Let me go to film school. So I contact the school. The school is like, oh, it looks like you just missed the deadline, so you would have to apply for the next month. So I was trying to figure out, like, what the heck am I going to do for a whole month? So I'm trying to figure that out. I didn't have a lot of cash flow at the time because I was not good with money. I had bills that were too high. I had just gotten out of a relationship, was stuck paying the rent because the man decided he wanted to go do whatever with whoever. And so I'm like, okay, I'm trying to figure this out. What the heck am I gonna do? And I just kept hearing, like, sell everything in your apartment. Like, I just knew I had to sell everything in my apartment. So I literally was just like, okay, I'm just gonna sell everything in my apartment. I'm gonna go to LA. I'm gonna figure this out. I reached out to a hostel. A hostel is one of those places where it's like, I never want to live again. But if you gotta live there, you gonna live there. Okay. So a hostel is literally like, you rent a room in someone's house, but there's multiple people in the room with you. So I was in a room with 3 girls. I was looking into that place, and they were basically like, we don't have no room. We won't have no room until somebody moves out. We can't tell you when somebody moving out. But I still was just hearing, you have to go to LA. You have to go to LA, okay? And so I kept feeling like, I know now it's the Holy Spirit. Sell everything in your apartment. I'm like, okay, don't have no money right now. Don't know when I'm gonna have some money because I ain't started getting my military benefits. Can't enroll in school just yet. But let me just figure all of this out. Let me just sell everything in my apartment, just go to LA. I was fully prepared to sleep in my car. I promise you, true story. I sold everything in my apartment and I was just being obedient. And I got in my car on the day that I was leaving and I drove to LA. Literally on the way from San Diego to LA, I got a call from the hostel. The hostel was like, hey, we literally just had somebody move out abruptly, but turns out we got a room open for you. And it's going to be $792 a month. And I'm like, I'm stunned. I'm freaking shocked because when I sold everything in my apartment, y'all, this is a real story. Like, this is literally the track record that God has shown me in my life, right? When I sold everything in my apartment, I had just enough money for that 1 month to cover in that hostel and gas to get me from San Diego to LA. I didn't have money for food when I got there. I didn't have money for nothing else, but I had just enough money for that. And so I'm like, yo, this is surreal. And so I just knew it was a sign. And so they're like, well, do you want it? I'm like, yeah, I want it. Got another call on the way up there from the advisor at the school. They were like, hey, you had reached out wanting to get enrolled this month. And I was like, yes. And they were like, yeah, we can enroll you today if you got to come to the school today. You got to bring us this, you got to bring us that, you got to bring us that. And I'm telling them, like, okay, I'm driving down from San Diego. I'm moving all my stuff there. Like, at what time do I got to be there by? And they was like, oh, well, we'll wait. I think they were there till like 6 or 5 or something. They were like, yeah, we'll wait for you. We'll wait. When I tell y'all, everything worked out. And so, like, the wheels are starting to turn. There's not one night I went to LA and I had to sleep in my car or do something. Like, the first night I got there, I was in a place God sent me to. But it gets better. Okay, I'm telling you, you cannot make this stuff up. And that is just why I am such a firm believer. But let's get back into it, because I start getting excited when I tell this story, okay? So if you're a veteran, you know, like, when you're starting school and you're getting enrolled, like, especially a late enrollment, your school benefits, you don't get those right away. You do not get those right away. I think it was either like a Wednesday or a Thursday. It might have even been a Friday, because I know it was like a day or two, and then it was like the weekend when I went from San Diego to LA. And it was like the end of the week, basically. When I got there, the person who was running the hostel, they basically were like, you don't have to give us this full month's payment because XYZ, like, it's not the full month, whatever they had said. So you could give us whatever. They prorated my rent for that month. Then it was like, on the first, you can give us the rest of this money, or you can give us the full amount going forward. And I knew that was God leaving me with money to have food. I was like, you can't make this up. You cannot make this up. So then My school, like like I said, I came down there on like a Wednesday or whatever towards the end of the week, and I was due to start that following Monday. They literally did, when I tell you, they had went from telling me, oh, we ain't doing enrollment no more, to now we enrolling, and they enrolled me fast as heck. I cannot make this up. When I started school that Monday, I opened my bank account. It was literally over $3,000 in my bank account. I don't think y'all hear me. Like, it was over $3,000 in my bank account. And that money was literally my school money. How the heck do that happen that fast? How the heck does that happen fast? So, mind you, when I started school, and I'm talking to like my other military friends that I made and stuff, there was one guy there. He didn't get his BAH money until 5 months later. Most people, the norm, they had to wait 3 months to get their BAH money. So you got most college students out there, they get out the military. A lot of people don't have like their VA benefits yet, and they don't have their GI Bill yet, so they really struggling. They taking out the FAFSA loans and all the other loans. They trying to figure out, just how they gonna pay things and housing and all that stuff. Y'all, the Monday, are y'all hearing me? That Monday, when I started school, my BAH was in my account. So I'm just like, this is God all around. Not one day did I have to figure it out, because I was just going to have to figure out, how am I going to stay in this hostel for another month when I only had enough money for, just that. And so everything just worked out. Like, every detail in LA, y'all, if I sat here to give y'all every detail of how God showed up and showed out in my life in LA, of how he connected me to people, of how he advanced my life, of how he did certain things, this video is already long. We would be here for probably about 2 more hours. Okay. Like, this LA, and just leaving the military, taking that leap of faith, listening to the Holy Spirit, even though at the time I did not know that's what or who it was. But like, just all of that is where God really built up that track record. And God really showed me, like, I have you. I got you no matter what. I'm looking out for you no matter what. God really proved himself to me through all of that. And like I'm telling y'all today, all of that stuff just seems supernatural, because it's like, I don't believe in coincidences. What are the odds? So when God spoke to me again and told me, like, when I was in LA, and I was like, I had built my life. I was there for years. I loved it. I'm living this life that I'm living. I'm enjoying. I have my friend group. I have all these things. And when God spoke to me again, it was like, it's time to leave all that behind and come to Atlanta. I listened, because God had already built that track record with me of, when I tell you to do something, when I tell you to go somewhere, I got it. Like, if I tell you to do something, it's my bill to worry about. It's my problem. And like, it's no problem that he can't solve. But here's the thing. All of those blessings were connected to my obedience, right? Because when God told me to move to Atlanta, I did move to Atlanta. I was obedient to a certain extent, but then I became disobedient, right? I got to a new city. I reconnected with people that God had been moved out of my life. And I started thinking, oh, I'm doing me. And everything started falling apart. Again, when you think that you can run your life on your own, when you think that, like, oh, I know this, I can do this, I can make this happen. Okay, God gonna show you. God, listen, life has a way of humbling you, and it will. Okay, once I got to that place where I was humbled, and I'm like, okay, God, what specifically do you want me to do? Where specifically do you need me to go? My hands are out of it. Who I need to let go of, what I need to do. Everything started flowing once more, because I was back being obedient. And looking back, I can see that every major blessing in my life was on the other side of obedience. Like, even me getting my dream apartment, even the home that I have right now. Y'all, I gave a little bit of a testimony about this home, but I literally, one day, I'm gonna have to do a full detailed like breakdown, because from the down payment to the location to, like, I didn't even remember that I asked about this home. Like, a year prior to me moving into, I'm sorry, 2 years prior into them breaking ground and me moving into, like, the story is crazy. I said all of that to say we do not have to know the plan. Do not hinder your blessings. Do not hinder your elevation by you trying to put your foot into it, put your hands in the mix, and you trying to make stuff happen. Listen, if God is telling you to take a risk, if God is telling you to trust him, if he's telling you to, like, hey, follow this plan, be obedient, that's literally the best thing you can do is be obedient. Because if we believe in God, like we say we believe in God, and this is solely for the people who say they believe in God, okay? If you believe in God like you claim you believe in God, right? If he says, if you believe him to not be a liar, and if you believe him to be true to his word, and he says, I will never leave you nor forsake you. If he says, I know the plans that I have towards you, plans of good and not of evil, to prosper you in all those things, then you got to trust that. So even when it looks crazy, even when it looks like, God, I don't got no place to live, I could go to the safe option, but you telling me to go here. Even when it looks like, okay, God, I just got enough money for this month, but I'm going to just take it. Even when it looks like, well, God, how I'm going to move across the country, you got to be willing to do it. Like, all God wants is a yes. All God wants is obedience. And I promise you, if you are obedient, my life is proof of that. There's so much stuff I can come on here and show y'all and tell y'all, okay? And there's so much stuff I can come on here and show y'all. I was disobedient and this is what happened and was a result because of it. It ain't all glitz and glamour. The glitz and glamour is in the obedience. And I've been on the side of both. And let me tell you, I would rather be obedient, okay? And so my life is living proof of that. I am living proof of that. If you're struggling with decisions, stop looking at the natural. Stop looking at, like, God, I don't have this, or God, this seems crazy, or God, this is my comfort zone right here. Listen, you got to leave all that behind. You got to really take a leap of faith. You have to be a risk taker. Somebody told me one day, you know, when you be on social media and you be putting yourself out there or whatever, people, like, they'll just come and be like, oh, you're so bold, you're so brave. And I know they mean it as shade, but I never take it as that, because in reality, I'm very bold. I'm very brave because I know who I believe in. I know who got me. I know who covers me. And I know who goes before me at the end of the day. I am curious, do y'all have any stories of, like, when there was a time that you took a leap of faith and you trusted God and it all worked out? Or if there was a time where you were, like, scared to take a risk, or you know God told you to do something and you didn't do it, you was disobedient and you could see how it happened. Like, tell me all about it in the comments below. And I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video, because I really enjoy sharing all of this with you guys. We done cried the makeup off, but it was all worth it. And I hope that this video encouraged you all. And listen, I'm just a girl, okay? I'm just a girl who is on a journey becoming her. I don't have it all figured out, okay? Listen, I used to tell myself, oh, at 25, I'm gonna be this, I'm gonna be that, I'm gonna have it all figured out. Baby, listen, okay? Here we are at 31, thriving, but still don't got it all figured out. So if you're on a journey of growth, personal development, just becoming the best version of yourself and who you were created to be, inside and out, make sure you hit that subscribe and join the family, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, babes.